Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi, so we are from group 37, and for this assignment 2, we are group 2. So our title is the annual cycle of migratory birds, and this is my teammates. The one with spectacle is Muhammad Khairuddin bin Kamarzaman, and the one with no spectacle and black shirt is Muhammad Nur Akmal Saleh bin Haji Zulaihi. So I introduce myself. My name is Aiman Muhammad Fikri bin Rosman with matrix number 83099. So in this PowerPoint, we include introduction, so breeding, migration away from breeding ground, stationary period, migration back to breeding ground, appendix, and reference. So, yes.
Okay, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Muhammad Khairuddin bin Kamal Zaman. My number is 8407 719. This is my metric numbers. So the first is will be introduction. As our friends earlier said that the title of our presentation today will be the annual cycles of migratory birds. In this particular presentation, we'll be introduced to everyone about the grey cat birds. Travel thousands of kilometers to find a perfect place for breeding, feeding, and rearing. These cycles would be kept with three main steps, which is breeding, overwintering, and migrating, which will be repeated around the year according to season that are suitable for them. Okay, next I will entrust the slide to my friends.
Hello, good evening. My name is Muhammad Rahman Saleh bin Haji Julaihi with metric number 82757. So firstly, the annual cycle of the grey catbirds begins with breeding. So catbirds start to arrive in April to May in North America, particularly in the United States and Canada. During this day, female catbirds build their nests in dense shrubs using thin twigs and grasses. Once the nest is complete, the female will lay 1 to 6 bright turquoise green eggs in the nest. She incubates the eggs, sitting on them to keep them warm for about 2 weeks. During this time, she has to spend most of her time on the nest, and when the nest hatch, both parents quickly get to work feeding their nestlings with variety of insects, especially caterpillars. This high-protein diet is necessary because the nestlings have to grow to the same size as their parents before leaving the nest. After the nestlings are big enough and have grown the feathers, they will leave the nest, and this process are called as fledging. At this point, the young catbirds called fledging will join their parents in a hunt for insects to eat. The fledglings are still very weak and need to gain a lot of weight to survive, and most of the fledglings won't survive for more than 1 week. After a few more weeks, when they are strong enough, the fledglings that survive will leave their parents to explore their surrounding. So the next cycle the next cycle of the grey catbirds is migration to the south. The migration to the south ranges from March to May, and in the fall ranges from late August to November. But based on Mara et al. 2011, most of the birds phonologies are controlled by the recent climate change. Before the migration, catbirds store energy in the form of fat, and their source of food is berry. This fat acts like a rechargeable battery during the catbirds migration. As the birds migrate, they fall to various regions from their various breeding grounds. Even among the birds that live from the same nesting place, the migration path they take are vary. That's why, by using light-level geolocator tags based on Mancuso et al. 2021, eastern catbirds crossing the Rocky Mountain Range are coming from Montana and British Columbia. Grey catbirds from British Columbia seems to have flown through lower elevation corridors when traversing the Rocky Mountain Range. The amount of time birds spend migrating also varies by individual. Some of the birds may have taken several weeks to complete the journey, while others make the trip in less than 1 week. Some catbirds also even stop for a long time before completing their migration. So the next annual cycle is stationary period.
Okay, so the next annual cycle is stationary period. They having this stationary period between late fall and early spring, or known as the overwintering period. So they are having this stationary period from October until January, as long 3.5 months based on failing. So, Akmal, can you zoom the map a bit?
Sure.
So as we can see, they fly through Southeast Mexico from October 18, and then they keep flying around there, 40 meter times 25 meter, around there, along 3.5 months. Okay, so can we? Okay, so as Hustler et al. Said that both sexes of catbirds are known to defend winter territories. So, as we can say, this catbird is strong enough to defend. And their habitats are including coastal shrublands, broadleaf evergreen or deciduous forests, and citrus and cocoa plantation. So next.
The next part would in the annual cycle, which is after the overwintering, which has been explained by my friends Aiman. We go to the next part, which is migrating to the north. After the overwintering, the grey catbirds would return to the north to breedings. This could means that they would take a few changes for them to prepare themselves for the migration. The first changes that they will change is to change their diet. This is because after the overwintering, the amount of caterpillar will be so low that they need to change their mainly diet to the berries, which will be sprout in the early spring, in the season that they are migrating to the north. The change in their diets would also equal to changing in their energy to travels. By storing their energy, they will need a lot of amount of energy to fly for several thousand kilometers to the breeding area. So the length of the spent time for the grey catbird to travel to breeding area would vary from others to others. Some of them would take about a week, and some of them would take about longer than a week. After they arrive, you would see a scenery where a lot of grey catbird would make a nest on the coast or the beside the building which is high, and for the females would make the nest from the grass and the plastics that are collected to make a strong structure nest. Okay, next is I would give to the next slide.
So the next is this is our appendix, or I can say this is our overall what we say about this annual cycle of migratory bird. So the first is breeding, and then it goes to the second, migration away from the breeding ground, and the next stationary period between late fall and early spring or overwintering period, and the next migration back to the breeding ground, and then it keeps cycle like that, annual cycle. Okay, next. So yeah, this is our reference what we say, but and that's all from us. Thank you.